Welcome to another house vlog. I've just come back from the charity shop. I spent about half an hour outside shoveling a load of shingle. From a back garden to the front of the house to store it all in a big ton bag to be picked up eventually, but there's so much more shingle left over. So I took a little break because I wanted to head to the charity shop, because when I walked past the other day I saw this lamp in the window and I had to get it. Now I have one literally like this already on one of the shelves behind me, but this one was only £4 and it's so cute. They had two other ones, one lilac one and one white and chrome, but I left those there. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna head back outside. I can't fit any more of the stones into the bag at the front, so instead I'm gonna chuck them all into the middle of our garden just so that the alleyway is kind of cleared so we can lay the pavers. They got delivered a couple of days ago and Ryan moved them all by himself from the front of the house to the back garden, so I feel like now's the time for me to pull my weight a little bit with this.
That width.
Yeah. It's a bit narrower, I guess, the window.
We've just wrapped up a bit of work in the garden. We have started laying the pavers where we can. We still have, well, Ryan still has to cut a bit shorter and make some holes for the drains to go in. And then we still have a section that we need to lay around here, but we're going to do that tomorrow. And then I've also planted some more plants that Ryan's mum and stepdad brought over. The flower beds are looking nice and full now. I've added a couple sunflowers there and there, and then this one is new, but I can't remember what that is, and this one is new, also can't remember. These are some sweet peas. I also forgot what's in there, but obviously here are some hostas. And then I planted this climber there and this one. Also don't know what they are. But just to show some progress, these are definitely coming through, but this hosta has grown so much. So has that one in the corner there. It's looking really, really good. And then this is how the pavers are looking. So there's a few gaps that we need to fill in here. This is where the drains are going to go. So Ryan has started to cut some, but we're going to keep doing that tomorrow. All of this side, these had to be cut because they just don't quite fit in there. So the same will have to happen here. And then this is the drain cover, which we're also obviously going to put the pavers in, but it's looking pretty good so far. And as you can see, we've got a really nice sun trap here, so I'm thinking of getting maybe like a little bistro set so we can sit out here when the sun's out so we can have dinner. I feel like we'd literally be living the dream. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up for today and then continue tomorrow. that in that corner, yeah?
Yeah.
So just another 30 of them. 50? Bloody hell. Wow, nice and
Hello.
neat.
This has all been re-levelled. So we need to make the cuts here and for the bits there.
Yeah.
I'm now going to do this corner and I'll sand it all. And I'll do the cuts for there.
Do you want to move the sofa out the way?
I'm always moving things.
Okay, let's do that now then. I'm going to pile it on top of the bricks. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello.
Bring you snack.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Yeah, okay. How's it going for you?
I'm a little bit cold. I'm a little bit cold because you keep the door open.
Cut this bit down and then we put the sofa back. I'll just cement it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make it a platform to sit on in the meantime and build up with dry cement.
Hello, it is Sunday, which means it is garden day. Pretty much any free day at the moment is garden day, but 21 degrees today and it's gorgeous, so we're out and there's lots to do. Ryan has already been at it all morning pretty much, finishing the patio area and just placing more sand. His back is entirely burnt and he's got a cut in his hand, so he's been through it. It's time for me to help out, I guess. So the plan is to tidy all this up. I'm also planning to get some stuff out of the shed to sell on Facebook Marketplace to make some room. And then I have just bought some new plants and flowers at Morrison's and I had to get a taxi back because there was so much I couldn't carry it all home. So I'm going to plant those in some planters, maybe some in the flower beds as well. That is the plan. I've got my SPF 50 on, don't you worry, I'm not going to burn. And yeah, let's do that. This is genuinely so peaceful. I find whenever I'm actually in the garden, I never end up listening to music or anything because it's just so quiet and peaceful. And especially around this time when people are starting to have dinner and they sit outside in their gardens, you can hear them chattering and you can hear their cutlery on their plates and people laughing, and it's just so nice. I think having come from living in a flat for the last 4 years, this is really nice. This is all I wanted. A while back I put up some kind of storage solution here to hang our shoes up. Over time it has failed, things have fallen off. So I have to put something different here because once again all the shoes are on the floor. So I've got this magazine rack. I don't know yet if this is going to work, but yeah, it's essentially a rack like this. I suppose if it doesn't work here I can still hang it somewhere else because it's quite cute to have. But my hope is that I can slot the shoes in and then also I can like hang my sunglasses and stuff on there because that's what I've been mainly using that for anyways.
You can do is before, you can drill the holes, put the plugs in, don't screw it in, and then what you can do is take these out. It'd be easy to take them out before you screw it in.
Should I not just take them out now?
Yeah, take them out now.
We've just drilled these in, but I actually don't like them. Well, I do like the shelf, but it just doesn't work that well for the shoes. Like these fit in, but then I wanted to hook some more shoes on, like this one, but it just doesn't work with the structure. So I think I just need to do floating shelves and then have the shoes like that, but on top of one another. So I'm gonna have a look for some and order that, and I'll keep this shelf, this magazine rack, and put it somewhere else. I think this could be quite cool to have with some magazines in. I think that's the third thing I'm trying for the shoe storage. I've drilled all of these shelf brackets in here, so now I just need to add the shelves in. This one's already in. I kind of had to wedge it in a little bit on this side. I'm gonna do the other 5. If this doesn't work, I'm giving up. We're just gonna have to live with the shoes on the floor. I don't know how many other solutions I can think of. All right, that one is in super smooth. Let's do the next one. That one's in as well, look at that. Okay, this wall's definitely seen better days. I don't know how many holes I've drilled in there now, but I think this now looks like a pretty good solution. I think I have mentioned before, eventually I'd like to paint the whole room, including the shelves and the coat rack, all the same colour. I also want to retile down here, so that will be the next project, but for now I'm pretty happy with this. We just picked up this mirror on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I do have a big Hobbit mirror there, which I bought new. However, this wardrobe room is getting on my nerves. Nothing is fitting where I want it to fit. The storage isn't holding enough things, so I need to rejig. I can't really hold anything on this side of the room because there's a radiator here, there's a window here. I don't really want to put anything into this corner just yet. When we first moved in, I found some mold along this corner, which I have removed, and to be fair, this house was empty for a good 6-7 months before we moved in. I still don't want to jinx putting anything into that corner and it potentially transferring the mold if the mold was to return, especially in the winter. I also don't like where this mirror is because it reflects all of the mess that's going on here, and the light just isn't that good. The light is really good here because you're kind of being side lit. This Hobbit mirror won't fit in here because of the windowsill and the radiator. So we've got this one, which I'm gonna hang up so it will actually like hang quite high. And what I'm gonna do now is, hold on, I'll show you in the bedroom. I'm going to move this out of the way, so the Hobbit mirror is gonna go here for the time being. I don't know if that's where it's gonna live forever, just to get it out of the way for now. Then this is gonna go here instead of this, and this is gonna go where the Hobbit mirror is currently. Does that make sense? If not, I'm gonna do it now and you'll see. Back in the wardrobe room, I already hung the mirror up just now. One take is all it took and it hangs and it's sturdy. So proud of myself, very impressed. For a long time, my plan was to just simply put a curtain rod along there and hide all of this behind a curtain. However, I had the thought that I would change the layout of this wardrobe situation and I will put the wardrobe on a corner, and then this big piece will go in the corner here, and then I'm gonna draw the curtain around still. I might be complicating things, it might not look very good, and I might just have to put everything back and put the curtain just straight up. I want to try it so I can stop thinking about it, so that's what I'm gonna do now. First step is to move these two chests of drawers out the way and to change the layout. So this middle section is gonna be against the wall there. This is how the wardrobe turned out. I think I spent like 3 hours in here because every time I made a change to this wardrobe system and then had to make a change somewhere else, the amount of times I took these clothes off and back on again it's mental. Now I want the curtains to run along here and then round and then all the way along this wall. Some people commented saying that I will regret the curtains and that I shouldn't do the curtains and that I should have inbuilt wardrobes instead. And look, I hear you. I would also like built-in wardrobes. Like this whole vibe I would love. However, built-in wardrobes are so expensive, and we've had these like wardrobe poles for many years now that they've held up really well. I think this whole thing cost us like £80. So unless this system breaks down, I'm not gonna get any wardrobes. So the curtains is just like the most cost-effective option, and I think it will look really nice as well. So I have one side up and hanging, the curtain. I actually really like it. I think it turned out pretty good. I, however, do need more curtain gliding things to attach the other sections. But this is pretty cool. I guess we're gonna have to wait until the other parts arrive and then I can hang the rest. I started painting these display cabinets in our kitchen yesterday. For the longest time I wanted to get rid of the doors and keep it as open shelving. I also want to replace the shelves that we have. At the moment we have these like glass shelves and I want to put wooden shelves in there that will be the same colour as the blue, but we don't have those shelves yet. But anyways, I painted the inside and now I need to do the second coat, and then it dries for like 16 hours and then I should be able to put everything back in and then we can see how it actually looks. I'm gonna just crack on and do the last, well, the second coat for the cabinets. It is Bank Holiday Monday, it is mega windy, so I've got the mic so you can hear me. And today is the day that we are going to attempt to take down the shed. Step number 1 is to put up the new shed in this corner and transfer everything that is in the current shed into the new shed and then take that shed down. Not quite sure how the process is going to go, but we need to start somewhere. And yeah.
Please.
Oh God, I'm overwhelmed. Right, I need to move this out the way so I can build it where it needs to go. So yesterday we finally took everything out of the shed to move into the smaller shed, and at first we thought there's no way we can fit it all in, but basically what just happened in the old shed is that we threw a bunch of stuff in there, not really organised, and so it looked like a lot more stuff than we actually had, which is one of the reasons why I was so desperate to get rid of the shed, is just because it has become such an unorganised dumping ground. We didn't think we were gonna tear everything down yesterday. We kind of just planned to do the roof. It actually was much easier to take apart. I mean, it was still annoying, there was so much dirt everywhere, but we kind of just like hammered it all out. We ended up with a lot of rubble that we are going to have to get rid of eventually, but I thought I would give you a little rundown of the garden outside and also some of the bits that I showed inside of the house in this video. The video is a little bit all over the place. I think I'm really struggling to narrate the things that I'm doing when I'm doing them, just because a lot of the times they are very off the cuff and they don't really follow a linear narrative. So when I'm doing things, I'm not always 100% certain if I've already spoken about it or not. So it seems in this video I just didn't speak about anything, but I kind of like the low-key ASMR of this video. So yeah, we're gonna start outside. First of all, this is how the finished pavers are looking. Obviously, a lot of them are already covered up, but yeah, they're looking really good. At first, I didn't like them. Now they are quite dirty, just because it's been raining and we're still in the process of sanding them. Like I said, at first I didn't really love the pavers. They were kind of too smooth and perfect, but now that they're a bit more weathered, they kind of have been getting wet. The sand hasn't been brushed off perfectly, which I actually really like. I really like the look of it, and I mean, there's so much mess everywhere, but when I look back at the full photos, the after is just such a big difference. I love it. So then when we come around here, this is how the garden is looking, and the plants are looking amazing. I was very impatient to start with, but without realizing they actually grew so much, and it wasn't until I watched back some of the earlier footage from this video that I realized how much they have actually grown. So we have a lot of mainly perennials, some annuals in here, and they're really kind of grown high. Look at these sunflowers that I think at the start I did show you when I planted them. They've become so big, and then we've got some real like flowering going on, lovely colours everywhere. I really don't know what I'm doing, so I'm quite happy with this outcome. This climber has just like taken over. Look at it. I need to give it a bit more of a bigger structure. And then on this side is all the shaded stuff, which isn't looking as full, but that's just because I didn't fill it up as much. The hostas are looking really good. This one's really flowering. Another hosta, and yeah, just some nice greenery over here. This sofa, I realised I've never actually spoken about. We've got this on Facebook Marketplace, and it was an amazing purchase. I love sitting on it. It sits like 5 people comfortably, maybe 6 at a push, but it's so nice, and I love that I can move it around a lot when I'm outside tanning. I do kind of move it out and about a lot. So then yeah, this is where the shed used to live. Removing this was definitely like the best decision ever. There's so much less clutter, so much more light that comes through, and we are very lucky that the base that this was on is actually very structural. So we're going to keep the base, and we're going to turn this into the decking that we initially planned. Now I do want the paving to go from where the planter kind of stops and just have decking that way, so we just have to extend the base that we already have a little bit more, but that is so handy. It's going to make our lives so much easier. But yeah, until we can do that, we still need to get rid of all the wood to just make more space, and we also need to get rid of all the rubble that is underneath and just level out the floor so it sits a bit lower. And then Ryan is also going to repoint the brick wall, make that look a lot nicer. We have to add another fence panel here. Then this section is where the new shed is going to go. So this shed there is going to live here against the wall, and then on this side we're going to have some seating, and yeah, still I think a few weeks until we get there, and probably a few tips to the tip to get rid of all this stuff. And this is how the kitchen cupboards turned out. Again, at first wasn't 100% sure on it, but I actually do really like having the dried goods out and some food and stuff, and I do kind of in the day like grab the glasses quite a lot, and it's been so much easier to not have to open the door. So just for functionality is pretty good. I'm really not 100%. I'm not 100% on anything in the kitchen. So I think this might just be one of the rooms that is forever gonna annoy me and needs changing. And this is the entrance of the new shoe storage, and genuinely I shouldn't have wasted all this time, money and effort doing any of the other ideas, because I did have this idea right at the start, but it was just the more expensive option, believe it or not. I've definitely learned to just not cut corners, cut costs, and just go with the most obvious option, because this is just so easy to store my shoes and there's nothing on the floor, which is great. Now coming up the stairs, there's a bit of noise because Ryan is working up in the loft, but one of the rooms I actually haven't shared anything about in this video is the office room, and this hasn't been touched in a very long time until recently, and Ryan has been really busy in here, which is again another reason why I haven't shared it, because I haven't done any of the work. It's been all Ryan doing an amazing job. So this is how the room is looking. If you remember in the last video, there was just a plastered ceiling. So Ryan skimmed it all, made it all nice, and he's attached the new coving. It's as well. This doorway is looking nice and smooth. Now that the ceiling isn't brown anymore and the coving is back, I can actually like imagine it a lot better. And as you can see, we've been testing a lot of paints. We went for this one in the end, which is like a Johnson's mix of the Faro and Ball Schoolhouse White. So we're going for that in like all of the upstairs rooms. Having the Hobbit mirror here was also a very good idea. Didn't think I'd love it as much, but it's really nice to have for outfit picks, despite the background looking as it does. But yeah, it's just really nice to reflect some light back in. And I'm also loving just having a smaller bedside table and having all my PBR for the summer right next to me. This is how the wardrobe room is looking as you're looking in. To my left and to my right, a lot of mess. The majority of this needs to go into the office, but these are things that I use quite regularly and I don't want them to get dusty, so I'm keeping them here. And then this is old curtains and curtains for the office and washing, just living there. And then I'm also drying some washing at the moment, but this is actually what I love about this room now. It has so much more functionality, and without these curtains, this would look insanely messy and always has looked insanely messy before. But now I can dry my washing next to the window. It's out the way. I can still like access all of my clothing, and I can also, once this is dry, just hang this up. It's amazing. Did order more of the curtain tracks and it's working pretty well. So we have all of our clothing behind, and we do actually keep it shut when we use it, which I didn't think we would. Now, in regards to this corner, which I was worried about for the mold, I did put my shoes there in this shelf, which is a little bit more airy, and then I do have some thick coats. So we just said that we're gonna keep an eye on it and kind of air it out quite regularly. In the summer, I'm not too worried about the mold, but in the winter, this might become an issue. And also, like I said, this was after the house was empty for like 6 or 7 months. So hopefully when we're living here in the winter and like airing the rooms regularly, it shouldn't like build up too much mold, hopefully. But yeah, on that note, I think I'm going to finish this video. A bit more of a quiet, calmer one. I didn't narrate anything necessarily this time. I kind of enjoyed just having the footage like speak for itself and just enjoying the calmness of it, although we didn't always feel mega calm inside. But yeah, thank you as always so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. Goodbye.